guys, Adam Fenig here with Fenig Equipment. You're tuned into the Talking Shed. Hey, we're creeping up on October 1st, and as you know, we've been selling a lot of the Devastators. We acted early back in the spring, and we ordered 100 Devastators, and we're down to about 15. So if you do still need one, let us know. But I wanted to go over some tips and tricks and some maintenance to keep in mind here this fall, and then when you're finished with your Devastator. I also have a installation video on YouTube that you guys can watch on how to install these on your head. But for today, we're going to go over some tips and tricks of the Devastator. So as you can see, come up here, you can see these springs are mounted way up here, near your row units, in between your row units. And everyone always asks me, well, how much do we need to tighten this spring down? I usually let 3 or 4 threads show on this nut. Or on the bolt. That nut takes an 1 1/8" socket. Just go ahead and tighten that down 3 or 4 threads. Now, the other question I get is when we put it on our head cart and the weight of the head is sitting down on those springs, what do we do then? Well, in between fields during harvest, there's no need to do anything. But when you're finished with the tool and you store it for the remainder of the year until next fall, I would take that nut completely off. That way there's no weight against that spring and you don't get some premature breakage of that spring just from the weight of that head sitting down on the Devastator. From there, as you guys are getting ready to go out in the field, of course make sure your head's locked up before you get under here. But you want to just spin this a couple times and you'll hear a couple knocks. That's actually just the square shaft inside the bearing, but you're looking for play, of course, to see if that bearing's out. And before you get going, just check that. Now, as we get up to the bearings come in a few different options. This is the bearing itself. It's got a square end shaft on it, and it also has a housing. So you can buy this as the bearing with the housing, or you can buy it with just the bearing. If you buy just the bearing, you have to follow these instructions here and pop that bearing out. It's a pillar lock bearing out of the housing. It's pretty simple to do. Loctite is your friend in that scenario. But what I want to advise you is if you're out shelling and you get a bearing that goes bad, I would urge you to consider changing them all at that point. The reason for that is you're going to have a lot less downtime if you just change them all rather than changing one today, one tomorrow, and having us ship you out 2 or 3 different times. You'll save on freight and you'll save yourself a lot of downtime. So Fenig Equipment has plenty of bearings in stock. So whether you're in Kansas or Nebraska or Iowa, or of course here in Ohio, we've got you guys covered on maintenance and repair parts on the Devastator to keep you guys rolling. So if you have any more questions about the Devastator, or you're still needing one for your head, give Fenig Equipment a call, and thank you for tuning in.